I called the hospital. I'd like to speak to Dr. Quaren Rainier, please. It's an emergency. Who's calling, please? Who's calling, please? The operator had my most unfavorite kind of southern accent, nasal and whiny. Well, could you just say it's Polly? Just a moment, hon. I don't know if he's in. Of course he was in. He'd be in his quarters or on the floor. I waited. The nasal voice came again. He's not answering. May I leave him a message? I looked at the number in the phone booth, gave it to the voice on the other end of the line. Please try to find him. Please, it's urgent. I said I could not control the trembling in my voice. I would have to wait for Rennie to call. Suppose, for some reason, he wasn't at the hospital. How long should I wait? And what then? I leaned against the wall of the phone booth, and I wasn't sure how long I could stand up. The part of Lenoir Street where Straw had left me was mostly shops. A few dusty palmetto trees drooped in the morning sun. My breath fogged the glass of the phone booth. And I opened the door. A few people walked by. A few stores opened. I waited. Half an hour. I couldn't stay in the phone booth all day. I would have to go somewhere, do something. The night before, I had wanted to go home. Not now. I couldn't go home. I crouched over as though I had cramps and heard a funny noise like an animal's. I looked around to see what was making the noise. It was coming from me. I pushed my hand over my mouth and it stopped. Oh, Rennie, help. The phone was silent. I had been there for an hour. The street was waking up. I had to go somewhere, and there was nowhere to go. My foot throbbed, and blood continued to seep through the bandage. Numbly, not even thinking, I started away from the phone. I was a few yards down the street when it rang. I rushed back, grabbed the phone off the hook. Hello? Polly? Oh, Rennie, where are you? What's wrong? I heard myself wailing. My foot's cut and I'm bleeding all over the phone booth floor. Rennie's voice was sharp. Polly, calm down. Tell me where you are and what's wrong. I'm in a phone booth on Lenoir Street near the post office. Can you come for me? Oh, please, Rennie, please. Where on Lenoir Street? Polly, don't get hysterical. This isn't like you. I looked around. 2 blocks south of the post office. I'm right by a hearing aid place. I'm bleeding. All right, Rennie said. I've just finished making early rounds. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I gave a sob, but there were no tears with it. It was so dry it hurt my throat. Oh, hurry, please. The 10 minutes I waited for Rennie seemed longer than the hour before the phone rang. He drove up in his old green car, and I stumbled out of the booth. He hurried around to open the car door for me, and I almost fell in. Let me see that foot. I leaned back against the shabby seat, stuck my foot out at him. Who bandaged it for you? Ursula Herschel? Polly, what happened? I cut it on a shell. His fingers worked the bandage free. That's a nasty cut. How did you get here? I walked part way, then I got a hitch. A hitch? Rennie, my voice was heavy. Hitchhiking's a federal offense in my family, but I couldn't walk. No, Polly, you couldn't. He opened the glove compartment and rummaged among maps and dark glasses and a can opener and pulled out an ace bandage. This will do until I can get you to the hospital and dress your foot. Then I'll take you home. Now the tears came, spurting out, as sudden as a summer storm. No, Rennie, no. I don't want to go home. I can't go home, no. I was being incoherent and hysterical, and I have never in my life been incoherent or hysterical. Rennie shut the glove compartment, took my foot and wrapped it in the ace bandage, then shut the door and went around to the driver's seat. He got in and sat down, waiting for me to get under control. Polly, what happened? I shook my head, and again that awful animal noise came out of me, but this time it flowed out with tears, and it was easier to stop. Rennie started the car. Rennie, I don't want anybody to see me. Some of the doctors know Daddy. I have no place to take you except the hospital, Rennie said. We'll go in through emergency. He drove in silence along Lenoir Street. The shops gave way to houses, at first close together, then set back from the street, larger and farther apart. The street curved around to the hospital driveway. He drove to the back, opened the door for me. Try not to put too much weight on that foot. We went in through the emergency entrance. There were only a few people in the waiting room, and the nurse at the desk was sipping from a styrofoam cup. Rennie greeted her, saying that he was taking a patient to have her foot bandaged. I don't think she even looked up from her magazine. It was a heavy night in emergency. Rennie led me into the examining cubicles. It's all quiet now. Are you on emergency rotation? No, urology. Word gets round in a small hospital. How did you cut your foot? I told you, on a broken shell. Where? Max's driveway. When? Last night. Where were you going? He was bathing my foot, holding it in a bowl of water, pink from my blood. I was running. Where? He swabbed the cut with disinfectant, and I cried out. Where, Polly? Away. His strong fingers held my foot, holding the cut so that the bleeding stopped. This was last night? Yes. Did you go home? No, I couldn't. And then I got up early to come to you. Rennie pressed a gauze pad against the cut, then taped it. You'll have to stay off that foot today. All right. He was perched on a small white stool, keeping his hand around my foot. I do have to take you home, you know. No! My voice rose. Shh, he said. Unless you can give me a good reason, a real reason not to, I'll have to take you home or call your parents to come get you. No. This time I kept my voice low. I can't talk to them. He stood, put his hands on my shoulders, looked into my eyes. You'd better tell me whatever it was that happened. I can't. I leaned toward him so that I could press my face against his white coat. Rennie had been to our house once when Max and Ursula came there for dinner. He knew Max that way, and as an outpatient, I could not tell him. You were with Max and Ursula? With Max, so she wouldn't be alone while Urs was in Charleston. Oh, Polly, he sighed. When did Ursula come in on this? Well, I was running away from... She was driving home from Charleston. Oh, Rennie, Max was drunk. She was in terrible pain, and she was drunk. I've never seen anybody drunk that way. She didn't really know what she was. His arms came tightly around me. I didn't have to tell him anymore. And then he asked me who'd picked me up to drive me to Cowpertown, and I told him about Straw and his ugly insinuations. The creep, Rennie murmured. The crude creep. His arms were protecting, reassuring. The first thing you need is some sleep. I'm going to call a friend of mine, one of the nurses here. She's on duty now, but I'll get her key. Wait, don't tell her. Shh, I won't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, not Mother or Daddy. I won't tell anybody. He shut the door of the examining cubicle behind him. While he was gone, I lay back on the black examining table, which was too short for me. It was covered with white paper that crinkled if I moved, so I lay still. I was half asleep when Rennie came back. All right, Polly, let's go. He led me along a back corridor, down some stairs, and out a side door. We got back in the car and drove to one of the streets around the hospital, which had once been a street of rich people in big houses and was now funeral parlors and rooming houses. He pulled up in front of a Greek revival house, with heavy white columns and none of the airy grace of Baudelaire. We went up the steps to a side veranda, and Rennie opened the screen door, then took a key and opened the inner door. He led me through a small living room and out onto a screened porch where there was a double bed, a green wicker chair and a stool, a cherry chest completely out of place with the rest of the porch furniture, and a few drawers pulled half open. Nell wasn't exactly expecting company. Rennie pulled down the white Marseillais bedspread. A small, cold part of my mind was wondering who Nell was and why Rennie was so familiar with her. He was rummaging through one of the open drawers. I sat down. He turned to me, holding out a shorty nightgown. Get undressed and put this on. He flicked a switch, and the ceiling fan started to turn. In the hospital, it had been cool. Some of the apartments have air conditioning, he said, but Nell sleeps out here half the year. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I undressed, put on Nell's nightgown, and got into bed. The floor of the sleeping porch was painted green. The wood ceiling was green, and the green of a huge magnolia tree pressed against the screen, with the fan moving the air. It gave the effect of coolness. Rennie came in with a mug. Chicken broth, he said. I don't want to give you any caffeine or anything cold. I put my hands around the mug. It must have been well in the 90s outdoors, but my hands were cold and the warmth of the mug felt good. I have to get back to the hospital. He sounded reluctant. Polly, I don't know what to do. You've had a bad shock. I think I should call your parents. No, I don't want them to know. You're not going to tell them? No, I repeated. I don't want them to know. Rennie sat on the edge of the bed beside me. You're going to have to go home sometime. They think I'm with Max and Ursula. I was to call Mother when I was ready to go home. Will you still do that? I don't know, not yet. He got up and walked to the door, then turned back. When Max and Ursula find you gone and realize you aren't coming back, won't they call your parents? I sat up in bed, put my head on my knees. That had not occurred to me. Would they? Likely. But what would they say? They might just want to know if your parents know where you are. Will you call them? I asked. But then they would know that Rennie knew, and Max would have to see Rennie when she went into Calvertown for blood tests. I got out of bed and followed Rennie. I'll call. He nodded, pointing toward a desk in the corner of the rather drab room. On it, among a clutter of mugs and a coffee pot and a bowl of lilies, was a phone. Rennie asked, Do you want me to go? No, stay, please, I dialed. Don't let it be Max who answers. Don't let it be Nettie or Ovid. Let it be Urs. It was. I said, Ursula, this is Polly. I just want you to know I'm all right. I'm with a friend, not at home. So don't call home, please. I need to sleep. I'm very tired. Goodbye. I spoke quickly, not giving her time to say anything, though in the background behind my words I heard, Thank God, where are you? I need to see you to talk. No, Ursula, you don't need to see me. There's nothing to say. Go to Max. I put the phone down and went back out to the porch. Rennie leaned against the door frame. I get off at 5. I'll come to you then. I'm sorry, Polly. So sorry. He bent down and kissed me on the cheek. And we'll pause there.